Hi everyone, welcome to Storytime. My name's Cheryl and I'm from Camden Libraries. I've got a wonderful story to share with you today. It's called At the Beach, Postcards from Crabby Spit, and it's written by Roland Harvey and it's with permission from Allen and Unwin Publishers. Now we can't go for a holiday at the beach at the moment because of all the lockdowns, but perhaps we can all enjoy this particular visit to the beach, and maybe we can start planning for our own visit to the beach that we might have later on this year when it's bright and sunny and the water would be beautiful for swimming in. Probably wouldn't be quite that nice at the moment because the water would be still a bit cold, because even though it's a lovely time with lots and lots of sun at the moment, it is still winter and the water is jolly cold. So let's dive right into Postcards from Crabby Spit at the Beach. Now, in the front pages of this book, we've got a map of Crabby Spit. And it's always very fun when books have maps, isn't it? Where we can have a look at all the places that are mentioned. I can see the beach. I can see a lighthouse. I can see the cinema where people can go and see movies. I can see some places where boats are built. I can see a park. I can see the bowling club. Oh, it looks like there's lots of fun things to do at Crabby Spit. Might be an activity for you after this book is maybe draw a map of a seaside town. You might make up a seaside town. Okay, it says, "At last I'm off to Crabby Spit. Now have I got everything? I'm not going to lose anything this year," he said. And the things that he has, he's got an easel and some brushes and a stool and an umbrella and sandals and a camera. He's got some paints. He's got his backpack, a towel and a hat. I think he might be an artist because most people probably wouldn't have paints and an easel and a paintbrush and a camera, although lots of people might take cameras. "Goodbye, my darlings. Don't forget to write." "Goodbye, Grandma." "Goodbye," says the family. "Welcome to Crabby Spit. Dear Grandma, we're nearly at Crabby Spit. On the way, we had to stop 3 times, and Frankie was sick 4 times. We saw a policeman, and he told Dad to speed up because he was holding up traffic. We saw a monster in a lake, and I saw 12 baby ducks and 2 giant crabs. Raja found a towel beside the road. I can't wait to get to Crabby Spit. I drew us for you. Love from Henry." And there's Raja and Dad and Mum and Penny and Henry and Frankie. And Henry's drawn himself with great big giant muscles. I wonder if that's how he really looks. "Dear Grandma, Crabby Spit is cool. We have the best camping spot right near the toilets and the beach and the river. Mum has agreed to stop embarrassing us and only wear her new hat in the tent if we all do the cooking for the whole holiday. One family has bought their mower and we are getting fish and chips for tea and then looking for crabs. There is a bike track and a river and horse riding and mosquitoes. Love from Henry." And really carefully you can see the camping grounds. I wonder if you look really carefully whether you'll be able to spot some of the things that were mentioned. I wonder if you'll be able to spot the people who bought their mower. What a strange thing to take on holidays. "Dear Grandma, wow, it's all happening at Crabby Spit. Dad says the lifesavers are wanting him to join the club and Mr. McIntosh was chased by a shark. It must have been scared off by the taste of his shorts. And I saw a bird drop a poo on a kid's hand. I'm going to join the lifesavers and row the surf boat and drive the rubber duckies. I'll tell you what, Grandma, surfing is ace. I'm going to get really good and be a world champ. There was a hang glider, and I want to be a world champ of that too. That's after I get to be world champion at Frisbee. I drew this picture of a hang glider up for you. Love, Penny. Penny wants to be a world champion at surfing and hang gliding and frisbee. She's going to have to do a lot of work and lots of practice. Dear Grandma, we're having a good time here at Krabby Spit. At the sand sculpture competition today, Mrs. Thomas and Mr. Thomas made Mr. Thomas into a mermaid and won. Oh dear. I wonder if we can... Oh, can you see it? Where Mr. Thomas is made into a beautiful mermaid. That's something you could do if you went to the beach. The kid helped Dad build a sandcastle, and Uncle Kevin is going to have another go on the surfboard. One kid thinks he's a seagull, and a little dog did a wee on a lady's foot. Some people have been catching fish, and they showed us how to clean them. I have become a vegetarian. I don't know how the seagull kid does it. He only stays up for about 20 seconds, so I think he's cheating. Dearie me, here he is. I think that's probably the seagull kid. Hey, Grandma, I couldn't find a pen, so I had to use a stick dipped in paint. It is really pouring today, so we went to Treasure Trove and bought some cool stuff. I wanted some 20-metre white pointer jaws, but got a snake instead. Mum bought Dad an ironing board because he thinks he's an Iron Man. See ya, Henry. Do you think that's what Dad meant when he talked about being an Iron Man? I'm not so sure that's the case. Oh, if you look really closely here, you can see those shark jaws he mentioned. Not a very practical present, I think. Dear Grandma, I bet you would love Krabby Spit. It is so windy today that I saw some underpants fly across the camping ground. The last I saw, they were on the back of a lady's head. We played Scrabble in the annex and had hot chocolate and marshmallow floaters. Afterwards, we helped clean up the beach. Mr. Thomas's stuff floated away yesterday, and today the wind is blowing it all back again. Daddy's going to buy a heap of fish and chips and invite everyone to a party. I hope Frankie's mice and my axolotl are okay and not too much trouble. Love, Penny. That's very nice of Grandma, isn't it? To look after their pets for them. Dear Grandma, Mum is helping me write this postcard because she is very sunburnt and has to stay in the shade. Uncle Pete and Auntie Sam came to visit and we beat them at beach cricket. Penny bowled Uncle Pete for a duck and I saw a snake. And I missed a catch because I was busy surfing. Mum is teaching me to swim and I can put my face in the water right up to my chin. Daddy's cooking his big fish tonight. Bye, Frankie. There they are playing cricket in the sand. That's something that's very fun to do too when you go to the beach, is play some cricket in the sand. I do hope Mum gets over her sunburn quickly though. Dear Grandma, we have been floating down the river and doing bombs off Sentinel Rock in the estuary. When we were snorkelling in the rock pool, we saw 7 starfish and a leafy sea dragon, and I drew you one. There it is there. You almost can't tell they're not seaweed. I think Dad has sunstroke because he dressed in seaweed and danced in front of everyone. A kid called James had sore feet and a friend made him sandals out of kelp. Bye for now, Penny. I do like how they're writing all these letters, letting Grandma know all the fun they're having on their holiday. Dear Grandma, we thought of you last night. We were watching the moon and saw shooting stars and 5 satellites and the Southern Cross. The saucepan and a glow-in-the-dark crab. There were dolphins out in the waves too. Henry says he saw weird lights in the sky and a UFO and a robber. But you know what his imagination is like. We met a family from a country with lots of sand and no water. They had to save for 2 years just to come for a holiday at the beach. See ya, Frankie and Penny. I wonder where the people came from. It's a long time to save for a beach holiday. Dear Grandma, today was the best day. We went diving again in the deep water and found sunken treasure. And shipwrecks, and a stingray, and an octopus, and a giant clam. I drew you a map so you can find the treasure if you come to Krabby Spit. You'll have to be careful because I think there will be things guarding it. And traps. Good luck. Love, Henry. There's the map down the bottom there. That's something you could do as well. You might draw a treasure map. Maybe you could hide some treasure at the end of it. Dear Grandma, how are your holidays going? Today, Mum took us sailing and Dad was worried. So Frankie and I worked the sails. We went out to an island and saw a really dark cave, which I think would have been used by pirates. We picked up a whole lot of rubbish in the water and we also found seagulls like eating sick. Ew! It probably has more flavour than plastic or chips. We saw 4 dolphins and one looked right at me. One looked a little bit like Auntie Joy. Love from Henry. And he's written up here, yee-hee-hee, and a nice cup of tea, in pirate speak. Dear Grandma, we had a real adventure today. We hired bikes and rode all around Krabby Spit. Frankie said he saw a crocodile, and I saw pelicans and swamp hens and Hannah Coleman. They were catching fish and eating them whole. Yuck! And after lunch we went horse riding, and now Dad won't sit down. He says his horse needs new springs. He was being the man from Snowy River and nearly fell into the water. This is my invention. Do you think I will get rich? He's put a seat with some springs on it for horse riding. I don't know. I'm not sure whether anyone would want to do any more bouncing when they're riding a horse. And he's also put a special rolled up ladder so it's easier to get onto a horse. If you're a horse rider, let me know whether you would like a seat with springs and a roll-up ladder. Hey, Grandma, we have been on a ferry today to Skull Island. It is huge when you get close and smells like Henry's room because of all the bird poo. I don't think humans have ever been onto it. The sides are so steep and there's just a little jetty. On the pier we saw a man catch a squid. He was teasing it and it suddenly squirted a whole lot of black ink in his face. Serves him right. The man gave the squid to Dad and I have a weird feeling Dad thinks we're going to eat it. I'm having calamari from the shops instead. I think I saw a giant octopus under the pier camouflaged as seaweed. Hope you're having fun too. My hair looks like this. Love, Penny. Hair's all standing up on end. Dear Grandma, it is not so good. It's our last Krabby Spit night. We had a humongous bonfire on the beach and people got dressed up and sang and drummed and danced. We were hot. Love, Penny. Dear Grandma, I've never seen such a big fire and we toasted marshmallows. I think even some of the grown-ups had a good time. It was so cool with the sea slushing and the music jumping. I made up a dance and my head stayed still and my body danced around. My dad was being funny and he's done his back. Love from Henry. Dear Grandma, I stayed up late and there was a very big fire. I found a crab and there were dolphins swimming in the sea. Love, Frankie. And there's their big giant bonfire. And there they are returning from Krabby Spit. This man saying, well, I seem to have lost all my stuff again. We'll have to go back and look for it. I think if he turns around and has a look at the KitKat, he might find where all his stuff has gone. There's the map of Krabby Spit again. Oh, there's so many things that you could do after listening to a visit to the beach at Krabby Spit. You could write a story about your own beach visit. You might even structure it just like Roland Harvey in the form of letters to somebody else in your family, maybe a grandma or an auntie or an uncle. You might do your story all in picture form if you would prefer. You might draw a beautiful map of a real or imagined spot that you would like to visit. Lots and lots and lots of activities you could try. If you think of any, put it in the comments below the story so we can pass them on to everybody else. Have a good rest of the day. See you next time. Bye for now.